Hey everybody, I'm Joel Feenstra. I'm a university instructor up here in Canada, and I teach in the trades. And you might have seen a previous video that I put out on how to go and use one of these, the Wacom Expresskey, to go and manage your online classes or online meetings, if that's what you're doing. We call them classes, you might call them meetings, but they're all the same thing. They're going to be online things run through platforms such as Zoom, GoToMeeting, Teams, Meet. There's a number of different software that's going to be out there. One of the beautiful things that a lot of the software has is it has got this ability to use hotkeys, which are key combinations, like Control-C for copy, and Control-V for paste. Everybody has that one memorized. There are key combos for these meetings. Now, the problem is they change from manufacturer to manufacturer. And sometimes, when you're particularly just running a class and trying to get something out there, you don't want to have to run back and forth, and try to sort out what they are. So that's where something like this, which is really not designed for this as much as it's designed for art. It's got all these great shortcuts for Photoshop and for lots of, your graphics processing and pen type of stuff. It's part of the Wacom family. They make these wonderful little tablets that you can write on top of. But it is not designed for what we're doing. However, it is easily modified into it, and it is so handy. So we're going to go through the programming of those right now. Now, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to define what we want to go and have happen inside of here. I'm going to bring this thing in just a little bit closer. We'll switch cameras here. Oh, wrong camera. That's the laptop camera. This is the one that we're looking at over here. Now, this is the Expresskey itself. It has got 8 buttons that go around the outside, 4 in the middle over here that are going to be modifiers. They're all pre-programmed by the manufacturer. It has also got up top here, we've got this ring that has got 5 individual buttons, 2 little buttons and then 3 bigger buttons. And then we've got this middle one over here that's going to be a double click button, and then we've got a touch ring that we can go up, we can go down with as well. We're going to go and program a bunch of that stuff. We're not going to go and program all the shortcuts from Zoom into here because we don't need all the shortcuts. But we're going to program in some really handy ones, including, I think, maybe we're going to put into our volume as well. Put that onto the touch ring, so if you get that one student that's really quiet, you can actually crank up the volume so you can hear what they're saying. All right, let's go and cut over to Zoom itself. If you're not familiar with Zoom, I don't know which system you're using because everybody's familiar with Zoom. But if you're not familiar with Zoom, there is a settings underneath the main Zoom. So this is the thing that you open up. Over there, there's a set of settings. And in those settings, you've got a pile of things that are going to pop up. They're going to give you a bunch of general things, and then you're also going to go and have keyboard shortcuts. We're going to get to the keyboard shortcuts, but before we do that, I just want to go and point out that for the way that I run my classes, I always start with my camera off. So I'm going to go and turn my camera off, video off when joining a meeting, and I am always going to go and start with my audio. Mute my mic when joining a meeting, because that way then I can do all of the controls off of this Expresskey. I don't have to worry about, coming on live or anything like that. Going down to this where my keyboard shortcuts are, these are going to be my defaults from Zoom. Now, you may have modified some of these. You've completely got that, ability. You can go and modify any one of these that you want, and some of them might also be set as global shortcuts. One of the ones that I like to go and set as a global shortcut is going to be the mute and unmute my audio. So that even if Zoom is not the top thing, I might have surfed away to a spreadsheet or something like that, but somebody asked me a question, I can quickly click my button, I can bring it back up again, even though Zoom's on the surface. That's what a global shortcut does. However, if we're going to program, you cannot have global shortcuts enabled, because if I have this as a global shortcut and I try to enter that into my Expresskey, it just won't pick up. So we're going to go and turn off all global shortcuts except for my Control-Alt-Shift, which is my usual one that focuses the meeting. All right. Now that we have got that together, the next thing that we are going to go and pull up is going to go and be my Wacom desktop. Before I do that, actually, I'm just going to close this one here. Once you've got your settings inside of here picked out, the ones that I'm going to pick right now are going to be my video, my audio, my muting of everybody. Really handy when you're teaching, so you can mute the rest of the class if you're getting bad feedback or somebody's got, music blaring in the background or whatever. You can do that. I'm going to have those ones, the video, the audio, the mute all, my screen sharing, which is the Alt-S, as well as my freeze screen, which allows me to freeze what I have up on screen. The students continue to see that, but I can go to, other applications, check what's going on in them, and then, come back to it and unfreeze again. So I'm just going to copy all of those down. I have them written down on a sheet of paper here right next to me because I'm very visual that way. I don't like surfing back and forth between windows. So we're going to exit out of that. At that point, we are done with Zoom, which means that we are now going to bring up my Wacom Desktop Center. This is your standard piece of Wacom software that is going to go and deploy with any Wacom device. Now I've got two Wacom devices. I've got a Wacom 1, which is going to be a little tablet that I'm going to use. Love it. Does not pick up my hands. You know, you look at any other touch screen tablets. For me, as a instructor in trades, I'm pretty fat-fingered. I end up, dragging my hand all over the place, and then stuff is adjusting and changing, etc. I love it. That's only going to be pen type of a input. The other one that I have is this Expresskey remote, and that's the one that we are going to go and take a look at. I also have some new updates. That's new. That wasn't there earlier today. Anyways, I'll get to that one after. All right, we're going to start by going into our Expresskey setting. So that pops up another smaller window. What we have up top is we got the ability to select which device we're modifying. Right now we're going to be modifying the Expresskey remote. And then we've got the option to choose when it's going to go and call the hotkeys that we are going to go and program in. The default is going to be all other. I've already added in Microsoft Visio, which is a graphic program that allows me to create technical illustrations. I've created a bunch of stuff with that one over there. And I'm going to go and add in Zoom now as well. Now, if I want to add another program that I'm going to put specific keystrokes to, I do need to make sure that that program is open. I don't need a meeting running. This window that I've got going in the background, the fact that that is already pulled open, is enough for this to be able to recognize that Zoom is going. So I'm going to click this little plus. It opens up and add an application. So I can pick up anything that is running right now. Half of this stuff, I don't know what it is, but I do know what Excel is. I know what Zoom is, etc. So I'm going to click on Zoom because that's the program I'm looking for. I'm going to hit OK. And so now it's added in an application. Anything that I program onto any of the keys, as long as this is highlighted in blue, will only do that thing when I'm in Zoom. Otherwise, if I'm in Word or any other programs, they would just do whatever they're programmed to inside of this all other setting. So we're going to make sure we're inside of Zoom over here. Outer keys, I can go and program those. Inner keys, I can go and program those. Those are going to be your modifies, Shift, Control, Alt, Space, etc. And then my ring keys, which are the ones that we're going to look at here right now. Let's take a look at these ring keys. The first one that we're going to program, I've decided that this is where I want to have my mute, and this is where I want to have my mute all. And then I'm going to have this one for my video, and then I'm going to go and have this one for my screen share, and then I'm going to have this one to go and freeze my screen share. And I've just got that written down on the side with the keystrokes that I need, so now let's go and enter them. Hit the drop-down menu, a bunch of different things are going to go and come up. I can run applications from this button, I can navigate, I can zoom stuff in and out, move stuff around, I can go and change my tablet modes, go to precision modes, I can go and put in modifiers, I can do mouse clicks, double click, third click, fifth click, all these other things that are there. What we want to do is we want to put in a keystroke because that's what mute is. It's going to be that Alt-A. Now the default that's in there right now is undo, which is handy in most other applications, but in Zoom, it's not really there. So I'm going to delete that. I'm just going to hit delete over here. Then to go and enter the keystroke that I need, I am going to actually hold them down on my actual keyboard. So I'm at my keyboard itself, and I'm actually going to go and do my Alt and my A together at the same time on my screen. That's going to go and do the store it inside there. Going back to this over here. So I'm going to press down Alt and hit A, and it's going to go in. If I had not turned off those global shortcuts underneath settings over here, if I still had Alt-A as a global shortcut, I would not have been able to go and input it into there. Because every time I press Alt-A, it would be trying to go and operate Zoom and ignoring any other program. That's why we turned them off. Now that I've got the Alt-A stored in there, I can go re-enable that one. So I'm just going to do that right now. That's re-enabled, and I'm going to exit that. We'll go back to this Wacom over here, to this one over here. I'm also going to go and name it so that I know what this thing is going to be. We're going to go and say mute. And that's fine. We hit OK. So that one's now mute. This one here is going to be my mute all. So that's going to be my Control M. So I'm going to once again delete what's inside there. And it's going to be, Alt M. I'm going to hold down Alt and press M. And we're going to call that one mute all. I'm a slow typer. And then this one over here, we decided that that one was going to go and be my screen share. So once again, keyboard, keystroke that I'm going to send in there and delete that one. And this is going to become Alt-S. And we're going to call that thing there share screen. Perfect. And then the bottom one over here, we are going to go and keyboard, keystroke, and this one here is going to go and we're going to hit delete. You're going to be behind the thing to go and delete it. And then this one is going to be my Alt-T, so that's going to be my freeze screen. Hit OK. And then this one over here, keyboard, keystroke over here, and then this last one is going to be my video. So I'm going to delete that one, and we will go Alt-V. Now, all of these things I'm taking out. The brush panel, very handy if you're going to be working inside of Photoshop, but not here. This is still going to exist back in the All Others, but it's only going to be changed here in the Zoom one. So this one is going to be video. Perfect. Done and done. Okay, so now I've got my mute, mute all, share screen, freeze screen, video. I've got those all around the outside rings of my Expresskey remote. My inner keys over here, I'm going to leave those alone for now. If I was finding that during meetings I was bumping into stuff and, I was accidentally going and, turning stuff on and off, all I would need to do is, once again, I'm in Zoom right now, I can disable all the other buttons so that I don't accidentally, do anything. Same with my outer keys over here. You can click through, disable, disable, disable. I don't have all of mine disabled for what I've actually got. I just rebuilt this one for the video here with you, but I do have a lot of my other keyboard shortcuts inside of these, but I'll just take them all out right now just for the sake of the video. So those are all now disabled on my outer keys. My inner keys disabled because this is all inside of Zoom. My ring keys are set to my mute, mute all, share screen, freeze screen. That's cool. We've got all of that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my touch ring. Now my touch ring over here comes by default. It is going to be listed as being auto scroll zoom. And I can choose how fast this thing is going to go and be. I can also choose keystrokes, and I can go and choose to, rotate or things like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and disable two of my modes. Okay, we're just going to disable that mode. We're going to disable that mode. And we are going to go and take this mode over here. We're going to put it into a keystroke. We're still inside of Zoom up top there, right? So we're going to hit keystroke over here. And then I got to choose my keys. Now I've got one of those keyboards that has the volume plus and the volume minus. And that's what I'm going to press right now. I'm going to press that volume plus. And that's going to go and give me my volume plus. And then I'm going to go to this next box. I'm going to hit volume down. That's going to be my volume down. And now I'm just going to go and call that volume. Okay. And the last thing that you want to do with that is you want to go and slow that thing down. Right slow. Okay. Because it will otherwise go and take your volume up very quickly, very, very quickly. It's just not something that we want to have. All right. And that is it. We have now got, for Zoom set up inside of here, I have got my touch ring over here set to my volume. I've got my Express keys over here. My key ring set to most of my top most used ones over here. I can now walk around, while I'm standing here in my garage and lecturing. I can easily go and carry this around here with me, and then I'm going to be able to just press, by memorization of these 5 keys over here, I'm going to be able to press and control what's going on inside of here. It is not that hard to go and set these ones up. And you saw me set them up here for Zoom. You can do the exact same thing for GoToMeeting, which has got a lot of the same sort of keystrokes. They're just usually Control-Shift that are going to be added onto there. Microsoft Teams is the same. Google Meet only really has shortcuts for audio and video, so it's much more limited in what it's able to do. But all of those, the same process would apply. You would just go to your Expresskey remote, open that one up. Once you got that one open, you'd have to add that application. It would have to be open. So if you wanted to add stuff in, especially for Teams, you want to hit plus, go to Teams. You can add the same things in for Teams. You want to do the same thing for your Google Meet. You would do the same thing for Google Meet. And that would allow you to go and use all the same keystrokes. You're going to keep this one as mute. You're going to keep this one as video. Doesn't matter which one you're inside or what your meeting is based on. You're able to go and utilize them in there. All right, that is all. I don't think that I need to lay anything else out for you on how to utilize one. Super handy. If you're not sure what I'm doing with it, then watch the other video, which is going to be my, control of a meeting using these. Have a good night. Stay warm. Stay safe. Happy COVID teaching. Hopefully you've got something a little better than a uninsulated garage in Canadian winter for yours. Cheers.